Welcome to the Kalispell Warhawks Dynasty. My name is MrHurriicane, and we are back with the Warhawks this week, 1 week after the team collected their first win in program history, 31-28 over Hawaii. It was a very fun week for Kalispell, and they played their best game by far. Back at home today, they take on the Northwestern Wildcats, a Big Ten opponent, and we'll see how the Warhawks follow up their very first win. We'll see the defense out first as Keith Britton gets us underway. This will go into the end zone, and Warren Long will take a knee. Here is the matchup for today. Northwestern 3-1, Kalispell 1-4. And there are the Warhawks right at the bottom in points allowed per game, 39.8. Only allowed 28 last week. Warhawks in a three-man front. Lewis Towns the nose as this is Thorson back to pass. Down the middle, he's got Mick Shepard thrown down. Marcus Calhoun on the stop, but a first down for the Wildcats. Again, this three-man front. Thorson will throw it on first down, and he's got Justin Jackson down the middle. He gets open on the angle route. First down again. This Kalispell defense racked up 5 sacks last week in the win. Now going downfield, this is complete inside the 20 as Northwestern gets a big gain of 35, exploiting the cover 2 defense. TJ Garner was watching the seam, and that left that boundary vertical open. Here is a keeper. Thorson met, and down he goes. Good stop there by Dante Clark. It's 3rd and 3 from inside the 10. Again, the keeper on the read option. Thorson gets the first down inside the 5. It is goal to go. No resistance here. They're just marching down the field. Thorson tucks it one more time for a Northwestern opening drive touchdown. It is 7-0. The defense is certainly still a work in progress, to say the least. The offense, meanwhile, found some answers last week in Marquise Walker's second start. Here's his third getting underway as he flips it back to Eddie Benson, and this triple option only gets them 1 yard. 3 recruits in attendance today, including 2 players on offense, Justin McClellan, and quarterback J.R. Battle. On the rollout, Walker hits and throws a perfect pass to the sideline to Troy Evans. Check this out. Walker not known for his pinpoint accuracy, but that's exactly what he delivered on this play, working to his left with pressure. We saw the improvements he made from game 1 to 2. Now I want to see what he can do in game 3 as Benson doesn't get much. 3rd down, Whitfield lines up left, 3 receivers. Walker stepping up, and that is nearly intercepted by Matthew Harris. Tight coverage downfield as he was looking for Rashawn Brooks. Wildcats take over, up 7-0. Now a 4-man front for Kalispell in their nickel defense as Justin Jackson finds a lane, gets a block on Garner, and breaks into the open field. 1 man to beat, he gets the block. Jackson to the 10, 5, he goes the distance. What a run! He found the crease, and the safeties got blocked. It's an 80-yard touchdown for Northwestern, and in no time they find themselves up by 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. So I guess we'll see if Coach Leon Daniels can settle this team down here. 14-zip, and here's Troy Evans. Gets a block from Brooks, and he's up the sideline here outside the numbers. Not quite the return he had last week, but still a nice one. Definitely something this team needed. Here is Walker faking, and he gets past the linebacker for a moment to pick up 6 yards, which it could have been easily a loss. 3rd down and 2, and Northwestern brings the blitz. Check down, wide open. Here's Eddie Benson. Gets some help from Brooks, and he's inside the 30 for 25 yards on that quick little dump off. They swap backs out. Here's Sammy Hawthorne up the middle. With the quickness, he moves to his left to pick up 9 yards. I think his change of direction may be his best asset so far. He stays in the game, gets the football again, and goes straight up the middle, diving ahead for a first down. Benson back in with 2 tight ends. Here is a jet sweep, and Keith Watkins was following Adams and had a clean path through the line. The loss makes it 3rd and 12. Benson stays in. Walker buying time. On the move, he throws incomplete to the end zone. He had an open receiver. This is one of the biggest things he's changed with this offense, but he misses this throw. Kalispell on the board at least. It's 14-3, but this defense needs to get a stop, or at least slow down this offense as Thorson keeps this one and rumbles his way for 15 yards. Haven't seen much from this defense so far as Jackson gets the handoff, and there is the captain, Marcus Calhoun, meeting him for a 4-yard loss. Now we hear the crowd getting into it, 3rd and 8. Thorson dodging to his right. He goes down. Sacked by Stevie Nicholas. Great job by the defense that time. They get a stop. Football back in the hands of Marquise Walker here on the keeper, as the first down will bring us to the end of the first quarter. Here they send Troy Evans in motion. They want that screen. He's got blockers, and a great effort out there keeps it to only a 2-yard pickup. Now they're going 5 receivers. Antoine Fletcher in the game, a big blitz, and Walker's got Fletcher wide open down the middle. Fletcher inside the 25 for 26 yards, and Kalispell's back in business. Another big blitz, and Walker sprints outside the pocket. Room to run. Inside the 10 to the 5, and he fumbles out of bounds after a 20-yard run. That's back-to-back plays of 20 or more. Look at this formation now. Walker again chased. He might keep this himself, and he does! Touchdown, Kalispell! 10 unanswered points for the Warhawks. That is Walker's first rushing score on the season. Alright, now this game is interesting. 14-0 turns into 14-10 as this is checked down. Nice hit, good defense for the Warhawks. They've made it 3rd down and 10. And they're going to send 3. Thorson down the middle. Justin Jackson gets it, as Marcus Calhoun was not in attack mode on that play. 1st and 10, Jackson sweep right, and he might get outside Davenport, but he can't. Luckily, it's only 13 yards. Clayton Thorson in the shotgun. He'll keep this one, and he's met by both Jeremiah Grant and Marcus Calhoun. Defense starting to make some plays. This is Warren Long. He has to change direction, and he'll lose a couple here. Brought down by Calhoun. It's 3rd down and 11. Here's a blitz and a screen as Thorson is thrown down by Blake Barrett. Back-to-back stops here for Kalispell. And this defense looks very different from the one that allowed 14 points to begin the game. 2 straight scoring drives for Kalispell. They have the momentum as Walker throws this off the hands of Troy Evans. Could have been a 1st down. They isolate Adams to the right side. Here's pressure. Good pickup by Benson, but Walker's chased, buys some time, and fires a strike. It's caught. Rashawn Brooks, 1st down. What a play. Now it's Benson on the carry. Good move to the right. Saw that hole open up, and he gets 10 yards and a 1st. Hawthorne now in the game as they're mixing in the backs a little bit more, and Hawthorne loses 5 on the play. Good pursuit by the Northwestern front 7. But can the Warhawks get out of holes like this? 2nd and 15. They got it. Troy Evans gets 16. They run a switch combination on that right side, opening up Evans up the sideline, and he hangs on for a very tough catch. Back on the move, Walker fakes. He'll throw it short, and that is dropped by Everett Whitfield right at the sticks. They need the 35 for a 1st down. Here's 3rd and 6. Walker moving out to his left, blanket coverage, and he doesn't get much on this throw as he is hit, and out comes the punt team. That drive showed some promise, but hopefully the defense continues to play well for Kalispell. And look at this coverage, forcing a throwaway now from Clayton Thorson. They've made some very quick corrections in the 1st half. Here is Thorson handing off. Long gets outside and drives ahead for about 10 yards. It's 3rd and short. They'll stack the box here aggressively, but Long converts, and he falls forward for a pickup of 8 yards. Again to that single high safety look here inside 2 minutes. Good pocket for Thorson. He'll take off with room as well to the marker, and he's met at around midfield for a gain of 12. 1:30 on the clock. Thorson inside draw, and Long gets past the first wave and out for a gain of 11 to move the sticks. Long doing a very fine job here as it appears Justin Jackson has been shaken up. Long here on the catch on 3rd down. He is met. What a hit by Dante Clark, and they'll kick. This to make it a touchdown game. This is about a 51-yard attempt. And it is no good. Off the crossbar, and Kalispell takes over. 45 seconds here for Marquise Walker. He stands in the pocket. It collapses around him, and he goes down. Good coverage again by the Wildcats. Not sure the Warhawks can capitalize off the missed field goal. It's 3rd and 17 against the blitz, and Walker's going to take a shot. It's intercepted by Keith Watkins, and he's brought down by Troy Evans. Kind of a throwing punt there, although you would like it to be further downfield. But the Wildcats take over at around midfield. 32 seconds, 1 timeout. Here's Thorson airing it out. Mick Shepard gets behind Frazier. 10-5 touchdown. 52 yards on 1 play. The second time the Wildcats have scored on the first play of the possession. This is a cover 3 defense, and Frazier just keeps his eyes in the backfield and does not pay enough attention to the receiver. It's now 21-10. We're seconds before halftime, and the Warhawks come out going Wildcat. Albert Green hands off. Here's Troy Evans. Look at all this room. Across the 40. Racing into Wildcat territory and down to the 41. So maybe they could try salvaging the end of this first half. Here's Marquise Walker. And he's picked off again. Keith Watkins with 2 interceptions in the final minute of the half. That should take us to halftime, as Kalispell began the half and ended the half in terrible fashion. The in-between was alright, but we're still looking at an 11-point deficit right now halfway home. Welcome back to Kalispell's second half, about to get underway as the Warhawks are down by 11. It looked like they may be down by a lot more the way the game began, but they rebounded, doing a really nice job on both sides of the football, and then that went away in the final minutes of the first half. However, they have the football here to begin the second as they try to regain some momentum, and here is Sammy Hawthorne breaking free. Wouldn't go down, there's 16 yards. We're seeing a lot more of Hawthorne this week, and now a check down off the hands of Eddie Benson. That's like the 3rd drop so far, isn't it? 2nd and 10 against the blitz. And this time Benson hauls it in, but he can't spin away from a tackler, and he picks up 6. 4 receivers in the game, trips right, 3rd down and 4. Walker down the middle off the hands of Wayne McLeod. A defender was right there, and they're going to go for it. An aggressive call from Kalispell trying to keep this drive going, and no one's open. Marquise Walker sacked for a loss of 6, and there was nothing he could have done on this play. A 3-man rush got to him as well. Northwestern takes over here inside of Kalispell territory, and here is Warren Long. He gets a big running lane, and he's inside the 25 for 22 yards. It does not look like Justin Jackson is going to return, but Long has played extremely well as he's brought down by Frazier on this play. 3rd and 4, Kalispell trying to force a kick as Long gets the inside give to the 5 and to the end zone. Touchdown Wildcats. 16-yard score for Warren Long as that opens up this Northwestern lead to the biggest they've had it all day. It's up to the Kalispell offense to keep them in this game as Walker will keep it here. He gets some room and slides ahead. There is a 1st down. The run game has been much better this week than their pass game. In a 3-wide set, a blitz gets home and Walker goes down. An unblocked defender just took a straight line at the quarterback. 3rd down and 19, just a little screen set up, and Adams couldn't even hang on. Another failed drive here for Kalispell, and Walker's only 8 for 21. Wildcats take over, and here is Thorson again keeping. Their option game has worked extremely well today against Kalispell. 14 yards here. On 1st down and 10, a blitz, and Long goes down. There is Marcus Calhoun. 4-man front, and they'll throw a bubble screen. Good tackle here by T.J. Garner. Back-to-back good stops, and now it's 3rd and 14. They'll rush 4. There's a screen. Anderson on the catch, running out of room, and out of bounds here in field goal range, however. Looks like about a 47-48 yard try this time. Last one was a miss. This one down the middle, and it has the distance. It's now a 21-point gap as Kalispell's offense retakes the field. A handoff here as Eddie Benson rumbles forward for a 4-yard pickup. Play clock winding down. Here, 3rd down. Walker down the field off the hands of Rashawn Brooks. The drops are starting to get a little out of control today. Kalispell's offense completely out of sorts at the moment as the Wildcats take over, and Thorson picking up the first down here off the speed option. Three-man front, and now they give it off to Long, and he's thrown down by Calhoun after only 3. 3rd down and 6. Here's Clayton Thorson. Throws it down the middle. Garner on the stop, and that is not going to get it done. Northwestern tacks on 3 more, and they're up now by 24 points. 3rd quarter nearly complete as Walker rolls out and is off the mark here for Troy Evans. This has been maybe the worst the pass offense has looked all season. 3rd and long, Walker up the seam, nearly intercepted. I'm not sure if Whitfield got a hand on that, but it's the same result we've seen lately. Northwestern taking over, and they've been in control now for a while as Warren Long races up to the 30 for 9 yards. The best thing Kalispell has done in this half is force field goals instead of touchdowns. However, this is Anderson getting a first down here into the red zone. The Wildcats already have 20 points unanswered as Long doesn't get much on this carry. 3rd down. Thorson will throw it outside, intercepted by Dante Clark. We have a takeaway as Clark is taken down without much of a return. Thorson just trying to lob this outside, and the timing isn't right. Clark picks it off, and the Warhawks will take over now at around their own 10-yard line. And they bring out Austin Bradley for the first time in a couple weeks. And Bradley is blindsided. Down he goes, loss of 7. It appears they want to try Bradley here in the 4th quarter as Walker hasn't had a very good day. There's a strike down the middle. Bradley to Brooks, 14 yards. They've also put Albert Green in at tailback as Bradley throws it off of Brooks, who was in the way of Everett Whitfield. That play is very symbolic. Kalispell getting in their own way. 4th and 3. Bradley quick to Adams. That'll convert and keep the drive going. Austin Bradley started the first 3 games of the year for Kalispell, and their highest scoring game was only 22 points. Here he pitches this back awkwardly to Sammy Hawthorne, and they pick up 3 yards. Bradley, a more accurate passer than Walker, but the offense just wasn't producing as much with him. Good throw here on the quick out to Troy Evans as they convert again. 264 yards of offense for Kalispell as they'll lose some of that here. Bradley sacked, loss of 5. A lot of interior pressure given up today as Bradley throws it quick to Antoine Fletcher, a player I'd like to see a lot more of. It's now 4th down, 4 to convert. 4-man rush. Bradley is hit again. The pressure's been too much as the Wildcats will take over on downs. Just a few minutes to go in this one as Long runs up the middle. He's got another good run here inside the 25. That's another 24-yard play. I wonder how many yards Northwestern has if you only count the first play of the possession. Here's Long to the outside. He's got a clear path to the end zone. Touchdown, Northwestern, putting the exclamation point on this blowout. 41-10. An ugly game today for Kalispell, and that's putting it lightly, as this toss goes back to Hawthorne, who gets outside 1 defender, and he picks up 7. I do think Hawthorne has played quite well today. 4 of 14 on 3rd down. Bradley outside Whitfield. He's got it. And they will keep on driving. 3rd down offense as a whole, though, has not been very good today. A screen here to Wayne McLeod as he tries to break this back to the outside. Just doesn't have the speed to really break away. 3rd down and 4 inside a minute and a half. Bradley goes down again. He's come off the bench and he's been put down a bunch already as Tyler Lancaster has 4 sacks, which is a school record for Northwestern. 4th and 12. Here is Austin Bradley. And he's hit again and throws it off the back of Norris Medlock. And this one's over. Kalispell loses at home 41-10. I like the version of this team we saw in like that 2nd quarter with their 2 consecutive scoring drives and their 2 consecutive stops. That was the peak of the game for Kalispell as Marquise Walker did not have a great day, but he didn't have much help. We had 7 drops as a team today. We also had some inaccuracy from Marquise Walker. And Northwestern's secondary played very well. Even when we got open, we made too many mistakes on our own. Defensively, we allowed way too many big plays, and their running game did whatever they wanted to do. They gave up too much pressure. There just wasn't a lot right we did in this game. So let's talk about recruiting now and switch gears a bit, as JR Battle visited this week. I'm not sure how much he enjoyed it after seeing a game like that. Maybe he saw potential for him to play here and help out. Jamal Williams was also in attendance. It is a two-team race between us and Air Force, and he'll visit them, it looks like, in a few weeks. We do have a lot of players who seem very close to committing, and I do think we will have the first commits in school history very soon. Players like Bruce Franklin and Corey Miller are all very close, and there isn't much of a recruiting battle with competition for us. We do have some interesting battles going down the list, however. If some of these big schools are overlooking prospects we'd be happy to have come here. After we wrapped up scouting on Marcus Bowser, it looks like he's not a very good pass blocker at all, but he's still a really good run blocker, so it makes sense why a lot of teams are not very high on him at the moment. One player I hope we can stay in the recruiting battle with is Isaac Davis, although look at the competition. He's a balanced safety, not very good acceleration. He'd have a much better chance to play here than a school like Michigan State or Ohio State, so I hope he considers that. But as we sit right now, no signings for Kalispell in their first recruiting class. In Week 7, which marks the beginning of the second half of the year, Kalispell is on the road to take on UMass, a game where they're actually favored to win. Both teams have only one win, and Kalispell's beginning a long road trip here, but it's a game I do think they can win. I actually think for the next month or so, these are all winnable games against San Diego State, San Jose State, and UNLV. We've seen the Warhawks play a lot of really good competition, and I think those experiences are going to help them on this road trip. They have one win so far, and we'll see what they can collect here in the near future, but I do think this UMass game on the schedule is probably their easiest remaining. Now, next week, Austin Bradley is not going to be starting. Marquise Walker will resume being the starting quarterback. I just wanted to see Bradley get some throws in there because Walker seemed off his game, and I wanted to see what Bradley could do for a quarter in a game that was going in the wrong direction. However, I do want to see more of Antoine Fletcher, and I want him to start next week opposite of Rashawn Brooks. And we'll see if he can be a productive starting receiver because he's done a pretty good job coming off the bench. Had a couple good catches today. And then regarding the backfield, I think we're still going to see us mix in more of Green and Hawthorne. By the way, here, one reason why UMass's season has gone in the wrong direction is because their starting quarterback has been hurt. And their second quarterback on the depth chart here, Ross Comis, has 3 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. I want to see the Warhawks get some takeaways next week, and we'll see if they can get that second win and their first win on the road. Thank you all for watching today's game. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future games with the Kalispell Warhawks. Also, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, which will help others find the series and enjoy it as well. And if you have any feedback on today's game or the team moving forward, leave them down below and I might reference some of the things you guys talk about in future games, or maybe answer some questions. I do think a little Q&A portion of the episode would be very cool to see what you guys are wondering about with this team, and I could talk about plans with the team as a whole or with certain players or positions. Just something to think about if you guys want to leave some questions down below. But that will do it for today. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.